Welcome to our Building SAP Landscape series. Today we're going to go through the steps to setting up a jump server on IBM Cloud for VPC. Several steps we need to follow. We're going to create a subnet. We're going to log onto the Cloud CLI. We're going to generate a new SSH key pair, and we're going to create a new virtual instance. Finally, we're going to connect with RDP. Let's create our subnet. So log on to the IBM Cloud, click on VPC infrastructure, and then click on subnets and then create. You will need to enter a few values, so put a unique name for your subnet because we're going to use our jump server in operations. We are going to name our subnet Management 22. Now we want to attach this to a virtual cloud, so we're going to put in the SAP class in Dallas, and we'll leave the resource group as default, and the location is Dallas 1. We're going to leave the address prefix alone, but we're only going to need a few IPs, so we'll bring that down to 8. The only other thing we need to change is we're going to attach a public gateway because we're going to be using this server to download some software. Now that we've created our subnet, let's go ahead and log on to the IBM Cloud CLI. The main command is IBM Cloud log on, and if you're federated, do --SSO. Now that we're logged on, you need to target your resource group. So IBM Cloud, target -G, and put default as your target group. Now let's create a temporary folder for our keys, and we're going to generate keys in PEM format. Now it's important that you use the fully qualified name in order for a future script to work. So we're going to go ahead and put that full path in there for the temp file, and then we're going to give our SSH keys a name. So because we're using this for operations, we're going to call this ops key. We'll put 2020 on there just to add a number, and just hit enter, and those will generate quickly in the temp folder for you. For this example, we won't use a passphrase, but you could use one for your future instances. So we do a directory listing, and we see that our key pairs have been created there, a private and a public key. Now we're going to create our Windows jump server. Returning to our IBM Cloud, we're going to click on VPC infrastructure, and then go on up to the virtual server instances. And you want to click on Create. Now we have some information to fill out, so we'll put a unique name. So this is going to be our Ops Jump Server, so we'll call it Ops Jump Server. And the virtual cloud, we want to stay in that SAP class Dallas. We'll leave our default resource group. And for billing purposes, we're going to tag this as operations so we can separate our billing. We need Windows for our jump server, and we're going to use the smallest instance we have, which is a 2x4, 2 CPUs by 4 gigs RAM. We're going to add a new SSH key. It's going to be that new key we just created. So the name can be anything. To get the public key, you need to return to your PowerShell, and you can just cat the name of the SSH key, the public SSH key, and that will show you the value that you can copy and paste over into your field while creating your virtual instance. So now go back to your IBM Cloud portal and just paste that public key right in there. We're not going to add any additional boot volumes in this demo, but you could create your data volumes here when you create your instance or later. So now that that's set up, let's now connect with the RDP. So now our server is running. We've created it and it starts automatically. So you can see all of the setup criteria here. But our password comes across as encrypted, so we need to unencrypt that. And also our download file is not enabled because we need to add a floating IP. So to do that, scroll down to the network interface section, and on the right-hand side, click on the little pencil, and then arrow down on that floating IP address and reserve a new floating IP address, and click on Save. And then once this is attached, you can see that our download RDP file is now activated. It's important to go back to the Cloud Docs on your first time, and you can see what you need to do to connect to your Windows instance. So we'll look in here, and it says, before you begin, make sure you have your SSH keys. We've already done that. We've connected to our IBM Cloud, and there is a command that we need to use to decrypt our password. So in order to do that, we will initialize our instance to get our instance password. So go ahead and copy this command and return back to your PowerShell. And paste the command that we just copied. Okay, so now we need to put our private key in there, again with a fully qualified path, and make sure you put the @ sign in here first. If not, you'll get a failure. That's required. It's a required part of the syntax. So you just want to, I just copy and paste the path here and paste it in. And then do another slash and put the name of the private key up there. So you don't need you don't need anything else, just the name of the private key. And then we also need to make sure you remove the quote and anything that we copied in. You also need the instance ID, and you can get that back in the portal. So go back to the portal where your properties are for your instance, and under ID you want to copy that value, and then you can just paste it right in there and just do another double check to make sure all your syntax is correct, and then you can hit return and your password will be decrypted. Okay, now you can see that our password has been decrypted. So now we can go back to our portal, and we want to take a little look here at the network interfaces. Now there are settings you need to do here. Click on your access control list, and currently this is allowing any TCP from any IP in any port. That's a really bad practice. You want to make sure that you lock those down and restrict those. It's different per organization, so just make sure that you lock everything down there. Also, another place that you need to check is over here. Under your network interfaces. You want to look at your security group details. Now under here you can see that there's rules for inbound and outbound. You can change those. Let's go ahead and go back and copy the password. And let's go get that RDP link. So just click on download the RDP file. You can just click on that from your computer and launch it and connect. Now you want to do more choices and click on use a different account and then do a ./ and administrator. Now if you don't put it in like this, it's possible that a domain will be automatically added and then it won't understand what user ID you are. And just paste in that password that we got from our PowerShell and click OK. Okay, so this all looks good. All right, and we have successfully installed and logged on to our server. Thanks for watching.